Which vehicle gives a better chance of staying in control on the roads? A tall SUV or a low sedan? Most people immediately answer that the SUV is much bigger and safer and heavier. But what if I told you that from the engineering standpoint, the answer is often the opposite, exact opposite. So today we are separating the myths from the facts using real vehicle dynamics, not opinions, right? So as everyone knows, the racing cars are very low. So by the end of this video, you'll all understand why the racing cars are low and why the SUVs feel different around the corners, and why modern technology has changed the game. So let's dive in. So before comparing the SUV and sedans, let's understand one simple concept. Vehicle stability is how well a vehicle stays under control when the road or driver throws something unexpected at it, right? So let's think about a situation like taking a sharp corner, braking hard, avoiding an obstacle, driving on wet highway, facing strong crosswinds. A stable vehicle responds exactly the way you expect, which is quite opposite when comparing between sedan and an SUV. So an unstable one always surprises you. The coffee cup demonstration. So let's understand. Here's a simple experiment that you can try at home. So place a full coffee mug on a table and now gently push it. It barely tips, right? So now place that same mug on the top of a thick stack of books. Push again. Notice how much easier it is to tip over, right? So nothing changed except the height. That's exactly what engineers call the center of gravity. So the lower the center of gravity, the harder it is to tip. So the higher it is easier. The higher it is, the easier it becomes to lose the balance. And this single concept explains almost everything about SUV versus sedan stability. Why sedans feel more stable? Let's start with the sedans. Look closely. They are closer to the ground. The engine sits lower. Passengers sit lower. The roof is lower. Everything is designed to keep the center of gravity close to the road. When the car enters a corner, the weight shifts toward the outside wheels. Since the weight starts lower, the movement is smaller. So the result is less body roll, sharper steering response, more grip, greater confidence. That's why sports car, formula cars, and racing cars are all hug the grounds, and the engineers spend millions lowering the center of gravity because the physics rewards it, right? So now let's understand why does everyone love sedans? I mean SUVs. Sorry, if sedans are more stable, why are SUVs everywhere? Because the stability isn't the only thing people care about. The SUV offer better road visibility, more luggage space, easier entry and exit, higher ground clearance, better capability on rough roads. For families, these advantages are huge, but every engineering decision comes with a trade-off. Raise the vehicle, right? And you also raise its center of gravity. That means more body roll during turns. It doesn't automatically make SUVs unsafe, right? It simply means that they react differently. So now let's do an emergency test scenario. To understand better, okay? Let's imagine a real world situation. You're traveling at 90 kilometers speed per hour. A truck suddenly changes lanes. You quickly steer left, then immediately right. Engineers call this an emergency lane change maneuver. A sedan usually feels more planted, more precise, quicker to recover. An SUV will generally lean more, transfer more weight, feel taller during the maneuver, right? That's why the automotive journalists often perform the famous moose test. It recreates exactly the sudden steering situations. Vehicles with lower center of gravity usually complete the test with greater confidence. So the next would be the technology to rescue. Okay, now here's what we understand. Now there's a good news also. If you own an SUV, don't panic. All right. So modern SUVs are incredibly advanced. Today's vehicle include systems like electronic stability control, anti-lock braking system, traction control, roll stability control, top one vectoring. These systems monitor your vehicle hundreds of times every second. Okay. So if they detect a skid, they can also brake individual wheels. So reduce engine power and help bring the vehicle back under control. before the driver even realizes something is happening. Technology cannot defeat physics, but it can work with physics to make modern SUVs much more safer than their predecessors. Okay, so now let's understand which one should you buy. Okay, so should you buy a sedan or an SUV? If most of your driving is on highway and city roads, if you enjoy confident handling, if efficiency matters, a sedan is an excellent choice. Okay, but if you regularly travel with family, need a luggage space, drive on rough roads, or simply love the commanding driving position, the high seating position, an SUV may suit your lifestyle much better. There's no universal winner here. Only the right choice for your needs matters. Now the final takeaway will be here's the engineering verdict. I would say, okay, a sedan generally is more stable because of its lower center of gravity, reduces body roll, and improves handling during emergency maneuvers. An SUV offers greater practicality, better visibility, and versatility, but naturally carries a higher center of gravity, which may be very difficult for cornering on high speeds. Okay, so thanks to the modern safety technologies, today's SUVs are far more safer than before. But the basic law of physics still apply. The safest vehicle is one that's well designed, well maintained, equipped with modern safety features and driven responsibility. And here, what I call SUVs, a full-size, properly built SUVs, which is on ladder-on-frame platform, not the jacked up hatchbacks like Brezza, Creta, and what many other form of compact SUVs that people call it as an SUV. That is not an SUV. SUV always is built on a ladder frame platform. It has a four-wheel drive or at least a rear-wheel drive. Okay, which is used mostly on off-roading conditions, not on highways. Okay, so now if you have understood better the science behind the vehicle stability, then let's give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more engineering-based automotive content.